Hello, my name is Naomi, and in this video I will be discussing about my project, which is about agile development of a technology product for a mid-sized regional hospital's home nursing division. So in my project I used three components of a systems analysis and design, which are user stories, diagrams, and project evaluation. And in the implementation, in implementing the systems development life cycle, I I discussed about the expansion of the company and business use case. I also identified the purpose and defined the business and project objectives and described the existing software. And under software development methodology, I analyzed the project requirements and the constraints, which I noticed that those led to a recommendation of a hybrid approach of methods, which is combining agile and waterfall methodologies. So the core principles of the hybrid approach involved gathering requirements of the project, design planning stage, and development testing stage, and the rolling out and maintaining and the maintenance of the agile principles, which also will involve constant updates. And then I also looked into the key tools and the processes for success of the project. And this involved project management software, which will be used for tracking the project workflow and the timeline. And then the software version control, which will be used to manage the code changes and prevent any bugs. And then the other tool is to ensure that there's continuous testing and integration in order to detect any potential flaws. I think that I came to a conclusion that combining these two different methodologies and having a hybrid approach will result in a more functional and quicker to implement product that will be suited for this particular system. And then under the business analysis and process design, I talked about three process designs, which include the business process model, the project management timeline, and the functional and non-functional requirements. So under the functional requirements, the project will involve the creation of accounts and multi-accounting, and then there'll be the other functional requirement will be like browsing, and the users will be able to do a quick search as well. And then there'll be multiple billing and invoicing options as well, and the product and then there'll be simplified product and an option where the service can be rated. And then the non-functional requirement will just be where the system can load fast. And then the other process design which is the business process model. The project involved several business processes like the customer onboarding, where there'll be customer contacts created for the hospital for the home health services, and then the hospital staff can collect patient information and be able to schedule visits with the patients. And also the nurse can, or the nurses can be able to conduct an initial assessment of the patient's condition and the medical history. And the nurses can also create patients records in the system. And the other thing that I looked at under the business model is the care planning, where the nurses can develop a care plan for the patients based on the patient's needs and conditions. And the nurses can also schedule and assign tasks to the caregivers teams. And the other component that will be under the business process model will be the care delivery, where the care team follows up with the care plan of the patient and complete now the tasks assigned. And then the nurse can also now, after that, the nurse can go in and document the patient's progress and be able to update the care plan as needed. And the other business process component is the clinical decision support, where the system will be able to analyze patients' data and provide real-time decisions in order to support the nurse. And the nurse can make also informed decisions about the patient's care based on the system's recommendations. And then under the project management schedule, this will be done in 6 different phases: the requirements gathering and design and development, then test the system, train and document the staff, and then implementation and the deployment of the system, and then maintaining and supporting that system. And then I also used the sequence diagram for this project, where the sequence program will help programmers construct the system and be able to improve the hospital software, and the diagram will be able to illustrate how the patient's information or the patient's account can be created and be able to log in and make doctor's appointments through the same software, or be able to download the app. And also I also used the class diagram that will be able to show the relationships between the patients and the nurse and the care team. And then under the data model and the data flow, this shows how the data can be extracted or retrieved. For instance, if you want to retrieve the disease info, data about or information regarding a disease, or you can the variables or the attributes that will be used will be the disease start date, when the disease ended, the disease details, and things of such nature. And then there'll be evaluation of the many facets of the machine learning project. And then this includes the legal and ethical considerations, scalability, maintainability of the system, and the vulnerability. These will be the aspects that will be considered. And then in my conclusion, So the main aim of this project is to demonstrate the implementation of the systems development life cycle protocols, and be able to provide an overview of the systems analysis and design project. Thank you.